Greetings everyone, my name is Flare Blitz here and welcome back to Lee Neve, a horror visual novel that makes you question yourself and the lemon curd that has been going on around this game. Especially the previous night's game. I blink, I think I might be staring. There's someone in the kitchen I didn't expect to see this sleepy Monday morning, that purple haired girl. Just being awake is unusual enough, but it's a person sitting beside her that really makes me stare. It's a woman with dark skin and shockingly pink hair. Her face is comprised almost 50% of metal. She has enough piercings to set off a security system in any airport across the world. I can't even count the number of piercings she has, so probably almost definitely more than I can't see. This woman is called Vaughn, short for Vonnie. She's Jas's older, kind of creepy friend. Vaughn hardly ever comes over. Dad doesn't like her. He thinks she's bad company. I'm not sure if I agree or not. Vaughn is pretty cool, but she's also rather scary. I think I last saw Vaughn 4 months ago. She said she'd become a Wiccan. She asked me if I wanted her to read my palm. I don't really believe in palm reading, but Vaughn is very convincing, and I was a little afraid that if she saw the imminent end of my life in my hands, it might come true. Hey there, Vaughn. I gave her a shy little wave. Vaughn laughs. I don't know if I want to impress her or try to hide from her. The two conflicting emotions roar inside my head. That's probably why I'm clinging to the side of the kitchen door like a lizard. It's bad enough I just got out of bed, but I'm still wearing my pajamas. My hair is all messed up too. And what's new with you? Jas is right. You don't look so hot. Oh, nothing, just bad dreams. Nothing really. Yeah, must have been pretty awful. You look like a zombie. Thank you. Coming from a woman like Vaughn, I think that might count as some sort of compliment. Compliment, maybe? Is it cause of exams? I hear you have your GCSEs in a few weeks. It could be. It's a little stressful. Gotta be hard, being the smart one of the family. Oh, I'm not. Not really. You're smarter than me. Well, that's not exactly hard, is it? Hey, don't be like that. Jas tries to give Vaughn a shove, but Vaughn avoids her easily, being quite heavily with a round stomach like a cannonball. Jas can't really counter. All she can do is tut. And why aren't you at school, little miss? It's gone 9. It's study leave? Oh, I remember that. You always get study leave around about the last month of year 11, huh? Yeah. Year 11 is like the last year of secondary school. And then afterwards you have either the choice of going to A-levels, which is year 12 and 13, or you go to college, or you find yourself a job, or you go to university if you have enough UCAS points. That's a conversation for another time. That takes me back. It's been so long I almost forgot. I meant to stay at home and study, I guess. That's why I'm in my pajamas. I don't need to get dressed yet. At least I don't think I did. If I'd known Vaughn was coming over, I might clean myself up a bit. Well, don't stay up too late. You'll get panda eyes. Oh, guys. Despite being so scary looking, Vaughn's actually pretty nice. She did let Jas crash on sofa for a few weeks after that whole debacle with Dad. Okay. Then again, Jas did get knocked up at a party Vaughn held at her house with all her weird goth friends. So maybe she felt responsible? Whatever. I don't really understand Jas's relationship with Vaughn, or how they became friends in the first place, but it's not my place to pry. All I know is Jas and Vaughn have been friends for almost 6 years. Vaughn's 27, I think. So they must have met when Jas was 13 and she was 21? That's a bit weird, but they've always gotten on pretty well. I don't mean they're daily, but just likes to make jokes. I'm pretty sure they're nothing more than jokes, but with Jess it can be hard to tell. I glance at the bread bin. The plastic bag of Warburton's half and half is all but empty, with only 2 slices remaining. As I thought, there are the crusts. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Vaughn. Well, it doesn't matter, I'm not hungry anyway. I sigh, closing the bread bin with a dull thud. Jess blinks. Don't you want to eat anything? No, I'm fine. You'll get sick if you don't eat. You're already so tiny. I'll be alright. That's what everyone says when they don't eat. They believe they'll be fine, but then hours later they feel faint because they didn't eat anything. Memories of my dreams still linger in the corners of my mind. I'm afraid that if I put any food into my mouth, it'll suddenly transform into a squirmy mass of spindly legs. Ugh, I still feel sick. I needed to get out of here. The kitchen is stifling. I'm actually going to see Susie. Are you going to study together? Something like that. Alright, whatever. Jess gives me a lazy wave, her free hand resting against the bulge of her belly. Okay, she always seems to have one hand pressed against her belly nowadays. Maybe she's trying to communicate with the alien life form growing slowly inside her. Or maybe she's trying to stop it from bursting out. That's a scary thought. Even scarier than Vaughn. And that's saying something. Have a good one, Lynn. Don't stay out too late. If Dad gets back and you're not here, he'll go ballistic. I know. I know only too well. Too well from experience. We are very sorry to announce that a train departing from Platform 2 to London Waterloo is delayed by approximately... I hear the sigh and glance at the electronic display board. Ah, the train times blink up, bright orange against black. Susie lives a couple of stops away. It should only take 5 minutes to get there, give or take. But there's some kind of hold-up. None of the trains are running on time. For London, what do you mean that's pretty rare? Maybe the underground ones run a bit more frequently on time, but for most cases, trains are never on time in the UK. You've got to realise that. Trains are very infrequently on time. They are either very late, a little bit late, about 90% of the time, and then the 10% of the time, they're actually on time. And that's all across the UK. If this was something like Japan, then having a train late would be super rare. Because they actually know how to operate trains. People always joke that it'll be the end of the world before trains start arriving on time, but the trains and buses in London are pretty punctual. Okay. Now, I'm a citizen of the UK, and I know for a fact that buses are not on time. Even in London, they're still pretty late. Mainly because there's always so much traffic in London, regardless of what time of the day it is. Even when they aren't, there are so many other trains and buses that follow similar routes, it really doesn't matter. I wonder if somebody threw themselves on... Okay, fine. I don't need to know that. When there's a big delay like this, is usually the case. It's a fact of life that I've been aware of ever since I was 5. That's actually kind of depressing. I frown, tapping my feet against the platform. A bag of chipsticks rolls past me. They're bounced by the breeze. The packaging glimmers in the sun. There are enough bins around. Why do people litter? Are they really that compelled to cause petty crimes? Oh well, it's got nothing to do with me. Unless, of course, it has something to do with you. I glance up and down the platform again. It's a lot quieter than it usually is. I managed to miss rush hour. The businessmen I was so used to are already at work. There are just a handful of stragglers like me, mostly dressed in casual clothes. Most of the pedestrians milling about, glancing at the train times, seem to be around my age. They're probably year 11 too. We're all on study leave until the beginning of June. And speaking of people of my age, Leonie? I thought so, it's her again, our doppelganger. Well, fortunate doppelganger of us. I see a girl, a very familiar girl. A girl who looks a lot like me, but at the same time decidedly isn't. She was on my dream last night, watching me with cold and impersonal eyes while I squirmed. So that stage stuff was a dream last night. She looks tidy and presentable as per usual. Her black hair is neat and straight. She's wearing casual clothes, but she manages to make them look sophisticated, like a model in a fashion magazine. I wonder how expensive her clothes are. They won't cost much more than mine. Lenny catches me, staring and blinks. She looks at me, tilting her head to one side. Is she going to come over? Does she want to say hello? I hope she doesn't. I'd rather swallow a sewing needle. Okay, fine. Be like that. Be the unsociable one. I never talked to Linny in school. I certainly don't want to talk to her outside of it. Why ship a train station at this time, anyway? She doesn't have any friends to visit. I know, because she's in the same form group as me since year 7. Maybe Miss Madley thought we'd get along since we look so familiar. And I've never seen her talk to anyone. She just sits by herself, staring out into space. Not that she seems to mind. What a weird girl. I really can't stand her. In fact, I think I hate her. But I've said that already, haven't I? Indeed you have. Hi, Susie. Ugh, just can't believe it. Susie sits on the edge of her bed, clutching a pink, heart-shaped pillow tightly to her chest. Susie's... okay. Maybe that's why she's so popular. Sometimes I look at Susie, I can't help but feel jealous. She's not faster, she's prettier too, clothes are nicer, parents are richer. Susie's bedroom is really cute. It's pale pastel pink, with a few stuffed toys lying on the bed and a rose-shaped rug on the floor. Susie's bedroom is a little childish in a way, but I think it suits her. It must make a perfect backdrop to her live streams. What does she do during her streams anyway? Does she talk in Japanese and do cute dances? I don't know. I don't really want to know either. But Susie's expression right now isn't very cute. She's angry about something. Positively fuming. How could Aki ask me to do that? That's so degrading. What did he want you to do? Oh, with all kind of things, like, you know, stuff on webcam, this and that. Okay. Susie grips the pillow even tighter. Ugh. I don't know much about online relationships or offline relationships for that matter, so my advice might not be that useful, but you're not even old enough, right? Like that matters. Get with the times, Lynn. Am I really that outdated? It's not my fault. It's hard to keep up with the current trends when I don't have a laptop, not like Susie. There is a computer in our house, but it's an old and boxy, and from the 2000s. It takes forever to start up, and the internet connection is always guttering on and off. I've only ever used it for homework. I'd certainly never use it to try and have an illicit relationship with an Asian boy, man, rather on the other side of the world. Just would find out, or worse, Dad, and how embarrassing would that be? But it doesn't sound like Susie wants an illicit relationship either. I don't know much about it, but wouldn't do things on a webcam, sounds a bit sad, doesn't it? We were certainly never taught about it in that. Well, yeah, there's nobody actually there, so you need to imagine a bit. At least I have a good imagination. Susie throws the pillow to one side and adjusts her pig ties. She strikes a pose. I'm everybody's cute little sister, Susamine. That's her stage name. But can you really call it that when she doesn't perform on a stage? Her stage is her bedroom. I clap politely all the same. I don't know why I feel obligated. When you do that, you sound like a completely different person. It's part of the act, everybody loves it. Just be yourself, okay? Don't be like something else. Don't be not you. Be you, and only you, okay? Susie rolls her eyes. I think she's wearing false eyelashes and circle lenses. Everything about Susie seems a little too big and not entirely real. It's like watching an actress on TV. I thought Aki was different, but maybe he only likes me because of Suzumine too. But he's writing new music? Yeah, not for free. Guys don't help. Okay, for free. They don't? Of course not. People are always thinking about themselves. Not that I'm much better. I mean, I'm using him too. Susie sighs. There are strings attached. You mean you have to do this and that? Yeah, this and that. Susie lies down on her bed and stares up at the ceiling. She must be mussing up her pigtails, but she doesn't seem to care. The cute little sister Suzumine is gone. Now it's just Susie. It was always just Susie. I don't mind playing around. Okay, I guess, but it can be kind of fun, and I like the intention, but I don't know. You can go too far. Did he make you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, I mean, okay. Why do you want to, you know, intimate things? Okay. Susie makes little quotation marks with her fingers. I guess there's a limit to how intimate moments can really be when you're separated by thousands of miles of ocean and land. Okay, I'm not going to read that out loud. I look down on my thighs, I start to blush. Did he want to see? Yeah, he always asked to see. I said I didn't want her, but he was so insistent, I was like, whatever. If it'll make you shut up, I don't really care, but it's gross, you know. Susie pulls her face. I felt fine at the time, I think. I don't know. It didn't really feel good, but whatever. He seemed to be enjoying himself, and I told myself it was fine so long as... No, that's not fine. He's using you, man. Susie bites her lower lip. It's very soft and slimmery. She must be wearing lip gloss. I don't know. When I woke up this morning, I felt kind of... I can't explain it. Ick. She holds her pillow even closer to her chest. She's still staring up at the ceiling. Her hand fans out about the bed like a halo. I didn't want to do it, so why did I agree to it? Why'd I let him push me around like that? I'm not a pushover. I'm good at sticking up for myself usually. So... I don't get it. He wasn't even here. It wasn't like he could make me do anything. There was nothing he could have done, really. Maybe it felt like you had to? Why'd you say that? Well, he is a lot older than you, and hasn't he been doing you all these favors? He bought you a lot of expensive clothes. Yeah, I guess. That's what I thought, maybe. I think. He did a lot for me, so... Susie shakes her head. That's dumb. I don't owe him anything. I don't think so either. Especially not when I'm... Okay. No way. Guys are stupid. They don't understand how girls feel. Shouldn't he feel flattered I'm going out with him at all? Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, one of us is living in the UK and the other one is living in Japan, you know. They're so jealous of not going out with me, you know. Think geographically, girl. You're not playing with a full deck of cards in the head. Susie suddenly gets to her feet. She throws her heart-shaped pillow at her bed. It hits the headboard with a dull thud and falls limply against the pale pink mattress. I didn't bring you here to talk about boring stuff like this. Lynn, you're going to be my camera woman for the day, alright? Alright? I've been practicing a dance lately. It's pretty popular. I should be able to rack up a decent amount of views on Nico if I record it, and I want to do it outside too. Outside? Yeah, outside. You got a problem with that? Not really, but I've been Susie's camerawoman for the last few months. Ever since she started to gain some serious traction online. It's a very lucrative business, not. Susie learns the dances, puts on a cute outfit, and then we go out into her back garden. Susie performs while I film her, trying to stop my hands shaking with an old Canon camera, that used to belong to her dad and film. Okay. Susie's dad goes bird watching sometimes. There's an ambience of old, unused cameras lying around Susie's house. She makes good use of them. But I never filmed Susie beyond the boundaries of her back garden. Are you sure this is fine? Yes, fine. I have no problems with it. Videos are more popular if they're done in public, like at a park. The scenery is nicer. These kinds of videos usually get more views. You can pull people in on the shock factor too. Like I did this cute anime dance in public. Oh my goodness. I guess Susie's done her research beyond her little sister Susamine persona. Susie's pretty calculating. She'll do almost anything to boost her views and increase her fan base. I'm impressed, but if you dance outside, people will stare at you. So what if you stares won't kill me? They might insult you. I can deal with it. What if they throw things? People don't usually throw things in Hyde Park. It wouldn't be respectful. No, it wouldn't actually. I feel like pointing out that most young girls don't dance to cute Japanese songs in Hyde Park either, but I don't. Now, I've never heard of any cases before where that is the case, but, you know, the impossible is never impossible. Instead, I say my voice unpleasantly whiny, even to my own ears. Susie? Hey, don't you Susie me. You're not the one who has to dance. I am. They won't say anything mean to you. But you don't have to. I do. It'll be good for my career. I'm trying to make money out of this. It's not all fun and games, Leon. I can deal with it. After talking to Aki yesterday, I've had it up to here. Susie gestures to her neck. Okay. With gross guys. If anybody's rude to me, I'll make them regret it. I'm not sure how Susie will make them regret it exactly. She's taller than me, but she's not that tall. And she's so skinny too. But Susie's quite fierce. For a few moments she had me convinced. She's dating a guy who is in his 30s. She must know what she's doing. No, not at all. Right? Yes, question mark. She doesn't know what she's doing. Really does not. See? Oh, bed. I'm lying on my bed, not doing anything in particular, just staring at the ceiling. Ah, that's the ceiling. I should have noticed because it's white usually, or grey. I should probably be studying, but I can't bring myself to look at my textbooks. The mere thought of cracking them open makes me feel ill, so I don't look at them. I keep staring at the ceiling. I think about Susie. I think about Aki. I think about Jess. I even think about... Okay. I wonder what she's going to call him. Jess had a scan a while back, but Doctor said her baby was going to be a boy. I asked Jess if she was going to name her baby after Dad, and Jess let out this colossal snort and rolled her eyes back so far into her skull that I thought they'd fall out. I didn't press the issue, so I decided to take that as a no. Our house is cramped enough as it is. There are only 2 bedrooms, Mum and Dad in one, Jess and I in the other. I've never had a room of my own. I envy Susie, who has such a nice big bedroom filled with things. She's an only child, and she doesn't have any brothers or sisters to worry about. I'm sure Susie's parents have more than enough room in their house to slot in a newborn baby, but I can't ask them to take in Jess's kid. I don't think Susie's parents like me very much, let alone my... Okay, that's not a very nice thing to say. That still leaves one question. Where will the baby go? Where will he fit? And what will Dad say when the baby's been born? God, that increased quite a lot. He won't be able to pretend Jess isn't... Okay. Not when the evidence is staring right in his face. When he lost his temper. What if he makes a scene at the hospital? What if he starts shouting at Jess? I can hardly bear to think about it. Maybe I shouldn't think about it. I don't want to, but... Lynn? Are you busy? There's a dull knock against my bedroom door. It's Dad. Hey, Lynn? Hey, Lynn? He knocks again. He isn't knocking very loudly, but I know Dad well enough to know this could become violent at any given second. Oh, I didn't mean to do that again. Oh, for goodness sakes. Is it Alt? No, it's not Alt. It's... Okay, that's better. For goodness sakes. I must have pressed the Windows button by accident. I stood up, brushing my fingers through my hair, and hastened to answer him. I'm free, you can come in. The door handle turns, the lock clicks. I swallow. Dad stands in the doorway in all his glory. He's a huge, hulking figure, over 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders and hands large enough to crush whole walnuts. When I was a little girl, I couldn't imagine there existed anybody bigger than him. I was wrong. Dad isn't even the tallest, not compared to other people. He's a little above average, I guess, and the muscles he's developed through years of manual labor add to his intimidating physique. There are bigger men. But I don't live with any men like that. Even if I did, I haven't learned to be scared of them. Not the same way I've learned to be scared of Dad. Hey, Lynn. But Dad doesn't look very intimidating right now. He lingers in the doorway, his face strangely guilty, like he expects to get scolded. Can I come in? Sure. Didn't you just say that already? Yes, Dad, come in, or something similar like that. I scoot to one side of my bed, opening up a space for Dad to take a seat. He does so, but not before closing the door behind him. My fingers curl into a fist against my better judgment. I wonder why. Self-defense? You're not cross with me, are you? I'm not cross. Why? You've been a bit quiet lately, and you hardly said anything at dinner. You hardly ate anything either. Oh? I didn't really notice. I thought he was too busy listing all of Jas's faults and flaws. Rude, ungrateful, careless, irresponsible, inconsiderate, prideful. The list goes on and on. I wasn't hungry. Are you sure? I think you've lost a bit of weight lately. Really? Your cheeks are hollowing out. You look like a little skeleton. Maybe it's true. I've suffered from nightmares for as long as I can remember. They've been growing more and more pronounced lately. The nightmare last night about a stage show and the insects was rather tame in comparison. How could I be expected to eat after such an awful dream? Or such awful dreams? I'm fine, really. I'm not hungry, that's all. You're not on some kind of diet, are you? I shake my head. Good. I'm not a girl, but I know you're all into silly stuff like that. Jas was the same at your age, but now... Dad grits his teeth together. For a few moments I worry he's going to explode, but then he exhales heavily and his posture relaxes. That's not important. We're not talking about Jas. Let's talk about you. There isn't much to talk about, really. Nonsense! You're my little girl. I really am little compared to Dad. I don't see how my littleness makes me any more interesting, but I keep quiet. It's best to keep quiet around Dad. Your exams are coming up. Nervous? A bit. Well, it's normal to be nervous. I was nervous when I had my exams too. It's part of being a kid. He ruffles the top of my head with a big, claustous hand. Cool? I've never seen that word before, so I'm apologising right now for not being able to pronounce it. It feels like I'm being mauled by a crab. You'll be fine though, Lynn. You've been studying, haven't you? I glance at my bedside table, stacked high with Jas's old textbooks I haven't bothered to open. I swallowed. I don't know what hurts more, Dad's large hand on top of my head or the weight of his expectations. Yeah, I've been studying. Good girl. So long as you try your best, that's all I can ask for. I'll try. More stress, but I know I didn't mean it. Is that what you were doing with Susie today, love? Studying? Yeah. That's nice. I know she was a good influence. I'm glad you're hanging out with the right sort of kids, Lynn. Not like Jess. She was always going off with that awful Vongo. Though she's so much older now, Jess. I should have been stricter. I told her off enough times, but Jess doesn't listen. She doesn't, does she? Never has done. Never will. Even I shout at her. It makes me wonder what the point of it all is. What kind of father am I, if I can't even discipline my own children? I don't think anybody could discipline Jess. She's a law unto herself. My weary comment brings a smile to Dad's lips. It's rare that I see Dad smile, but when he does, it's usually around me. I'm not trying to boast, that's just how things are. Jess never makes Dad smile. She makes him shout and spit and rage. You're right. Totally right. You're often right, Lynn. I don't know. I do. Don't sell yourself short. I was like Jess when I was her age. I thought I knew best. I never listened to anybody, least of all my parents. I was a blankhead. I make a lot of mistakes. When I was raising Jess, so did Mary. I'm presuming Mary is the mother. I don't want to make the same mistakes with you. I want you to study hard. I want you to get a good job. I want you to make something of yourself. You know that, don't you, sweetie? All of a sudden, my throat feels dry. My head pulsates. Full of millipedes in my mind, dear wife. I think that's from Shakespeare, Macbeth. We were studying at school. At least I remember something. Oh, for goodness sake, it's not Shakespeare. Shakespeare. You still take inspiration from somebody who's been dead at least 300 years ago or something. Such an inspirational person, but my goodness, I think school needs to move on and move to a different personnel rather than always William Shakespeare. Too bad all the things I remember are completely worthless. But why am I telling you this? You're a good girl, a smart girl. You might not be great at maths or science, but I know you'll ace English for sure. Your English teacher always says nice things about you at parents' evening. Dad ruffles the top of my head. You'll do alright, love. I have faith in you. You'll make your old man proud. Jess never did, but you did. I hope you don't let me down. Great. That last bit was not necessary. I sigh softly. Vague noises escape from my lips. I hardly sound intelligent, but at least I'm sentient. I know I still exist. It's the middle of the night, and the lights are dim and the sky is filled with stars, but I still exist. I don't need to find proof of my own worth from strangers on the internet like Susie does. I don't extort older men for clothes and shoes and accessories online while pretending to be somebody I'm not. I don't want to. I don't think any man, no matter how desperate, would want to go out with me either. I've never been good at playing pretend, not like Susie. Well, it's good not to play pretend. It's good to be honest and be yourself, not be some sort of second person. When we were little kids, Susie was always the one who created the complicated backstories of our dolls, or divided up the roles when we played at being happy families. I never had much of a model to go on. I gasp, but I tip my head back. My hair is wedged beneath my head and it hurts a little. It tugs at my scalp whenever I shift, but I try to ignore it. If nobody else wants me, man or woman, then I can at least want... Okay, fine. Okay. Since I share a bedroom with Jess, I don't often get a chance... Okay, where the hell is this going? Jess is tonight. I don't know what she's doing or where she is, but she's probably with Von. I have an idea of where this is going, but I am not comfortable with this. Dad was livid when he discovered Jess still wasn't back home by 11 o'clock. Dad tried to keep his voice down, but I could hear him murmuring angrily to Mom in their room. That girl has no sense of respect. I'll wring her neck when she gets back. The walls in our house are thin. I can hear everything from my bedroom. I can hear the wind rattling my window pane. I can hear the faulty taps in the bedroom. I can hear the humming of the fridge downstairs. Sometimes I can hear the springs of... Okay, that part we didn't need to know about. I wish I couldn't. When we were younger, Jess and I used to giggle about it. Jess giggled about it, rather, and then went on to tell me about where... Okay. In excruciating detail. I told Jess she was gross. She laughed and told me I was being a baby. Jess was 9 then. I was 6. I haven't heard a spree... Okay. For a while. More often than not, I just hear low, angry murmuring. Arguing. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it isn't so quiet. The house is always quiet now, but it's a deceptive silence that contains something deeper. Something darker. The wind outside. The slow, steady dripping of the bedroom taps. Bathroom taps. The sadness, stiffening sounds Mother makes when she's asleep. My own soft sighs. I wonder what I should think about. I don't really know. Anything but them. Susie told me a little about this before. She's had BFs and now she has Aki. And I have had those classes, but I'm not really good at this. Maybe you should wait until you're a few years older yet, till you can be at least classified as legal. I'm not good at making myself... Okay. I've looked it up online, but there's only one shared computer in the house, and I'm too worried somebody will find out what I've been searching for. I don't know what to do. So, grow up and... Okay. Okay. I'm just going to... Nah. Okay, this is getting into some gross territory. I don't really understand that. It's strange and alien. Whenever I... Okay. I try not to look at it too much. I thought that teenagers were meant to be the best of your life. Why then do I look so ugly? I don't just look ugly. I feel... Okay, no. I didn't sign up for this when I thought of horror visual novel. Maybe it's horrific in its own ways, and this is definitely it. Yep, too much guilt attached and awkwardness too. Because they might wake up any second. Nope, I'm not reading that out either. Or that. Even if they weren't, they usually involve at least 2 people, and there's only one of me. There'll only ever be one of me. I'll always be alone. Gosh. None of those will try to proposition me online. They'll never buy me expensive gifts in exchange for long, drawn-out, loveless... Okay. No boys will ever try to get me drunk at parties. Blah, blah, blah. Then leave without giving a name or their phone number. Okay. Shouldn't hope for too much in this day of age. Why else do you think so many guys watch me when I live stream? It's because you're lonely. Maybe everybody's lonely. Is it about why I'm... I don't know. It doesn't make me feel better. I sound unconvincing. Soft and hollow and empty and devoid of emotion. I must look so stupid. I feel stupid. And I'm supposed to be the smart one. If I was more like her. But why am I thinking about that? I tense. My fingers spasm. Okay. Not because I've managed to achieve that or anything like that. I don't know what that feels like. She just says it feels good. I'll take her word for it. She's just lost her at the start of this school term. But she's only 15. That's young. Not just young. It's illegal. It's especially shocking considering Susie is supposed to be a good girl who comes from a nice and normal family. Her dad watches birds and her mother translates manuals from assembly TVs and kitchen cupboards. That must be pretty stressful to do that. Not the watching birds part, but the translating manuals from one language to another language. I don't think they ever argue. They don't seem like the arguing sort. But Susie still when she was 15. So maybe that's the normal thing that girls do? I think Jess was around that age, but I never held hands with a boy, let alone kissed one, let alone anything else. Maybe I shouldn't try to think about guys, it's not really working. It just makes me feel more aware of just how alone I am. A girl, then? Should I think about a girl? Susie? No, not Susie, she is Aki. Then... Bleh. What about the other me? The Lynn with the extra E, whose name would be worth more points than mine on a Scrabble board. Does she know how to do this properly? I doubt it. She's so prim and proper, she never talks to anyone in class. When we learned about that in class, she faced forwards and looked attentive enough, but in this kind of distant way, like it had nothing to do with her, like she was never, ever going to have with any boy. Not like I could judge. I bet I'll never, ever have with the boy either. I'm gonna... Oh, thanks. I hope that... Gosh, if I'm going down, I'm taking you down with me, in the same status as well. It wouldn't be fair if she has a better... She's already prettier than me and smarter and her family's richer than mine. Why does she have to take everything I want? It's not fair. Maybe it's because she comes from a better house. Okay. Lynn's shoes are never scruffled, and the pleats on her skirt are always crisp and neatly ironed. Could I look pretty like her if I tried? I don't know. Thinking about it, Lenny does sound... Okay. I wonder what it would feel like... Okay. Okay. When I heard horror visual novel of this game, I thought this would be very fascinating because the last time I played a horror visual novel was Valletta. It was not this grotesque, for goodness sakes, in this manner. Nah. I don't know what that would feel like. Yep. I thought the last episode was a bit cringy, but this takes cringy to a whole nother level. I never try to think about a girl like this Lenny. It's strange. Maybe that's why I'm a little louder than usual, but I can't be loud. The walls are too thin, I don't want them to hear me, but it's starting to... Okay. Oh. No, stress is going down now. Len, what on earth are you doing? For a few minutes I forgot about being quiet before it goes out of my head altogether. It's hard to keep quiet when you're... Okay, standing in the doorway of your shared bedroom, looking at you with evident amusement, with one hand resting against her... Okay. Jazz! I pulled my hand away from... Okay, I've been burnt. I think I really am burning. My face is raw red. It's a good thing I still have the covers pulled around me, but it should have been obvious what I was doing. You could have knocked. Sorry. I didn't know you would be doing that while I was gone. Ah, you always seemed like such a good girl. Jazz sneakers. She looked wickedly amused, like she'd seen something hilarious. Like I'm hilarious. Who would ever take me seriously anyway? Oh god, my face burns. I pulled my duvet around me tightly. I wrap around my body like a shield. I wish I could kid myself as an invisibility cloak, but Jess's eyes are still boring into me. Ugh. I can hear Dad shifting around in his sleep in my... Okay. The springs of the old mattress that need replacing 10 years ago creak. I hold my breath waiting, but after that, he falls silent. The soft sound of his snoring permeates the house once more. The tap in the bathroom continues to drip. At least she didn't wake him up. Jess shouts the bedroom door behind her with a soft thud. Is he mad at me? Live it. Thought so. Why were you out so late anyway? I was at Von's. We were watching Saw. Okay. Why Saw, that horrific horror film? 'Cause it's awesome. I don't think Saw is something, yeah, should be watching. They should put a warning on it, like alcohol or cigarettes. The baby might be born all messed up. Is it how serial killers are made? I just meant to watch the first one, I swear, but then Von brought out the second and third and fourth and fifth and whatever the hell it would be leading up to. Well, I kind of wanted to marathon them. Didn't you worry what Dad would say? A bit, but I didn't want to think about Dad. I'm an adult. I should be allowed to do what I want. And you want to watch Saw? Yep. It's not even Halloween. But I got the fright of my life and I came back, let me tell you. You're horrible. Yeah, this is the kind of girl who also gets amusement out of watching the Jeremy Kyle show. Don't expect anything bigger than that, Lynn. I'm just teasing. Don't take it to heart. You're a healthy young girl. It's perfectly normal you'd want to enjoy... Okay, enjoy yourself a little. Shut up. Don't look so huffy. I'm a girl too. I know what it's like. Be quiet. Jess smirks. Though you do sound a bit like a dying Jasmine. Okay. Moon. I want to shout at her, but I can't risk waking Dad. Dad gets angry enough as it is. Woke me roused in the middle of the night. And I hate to think what he would say to Jess once he sees she's back. All I can do is whisper angrily instead. I'm mad Jess has taken away even my right to be angry. But I've never been very good at expressing myself. What, I'm just saying. You don't even have to say. Well, sorry for trying to give you some advice. Wouldn't you rather it came from me than a future boyfriend? I'm never going to have a boyfriend. Well, you're okay. Don't talk about that like that. Hey, don't sweat it. I'm not exactly... Okay. Just pouts her stomach. I pout and return and just laugh. She ruffles my hairs. Don't worry, Lynn. This is just between me and you. I won't tell anyone. Really? Yeah, although... What? Just prods me in the cheek. You were putting some weird faces. It looked like you'd been possessed. It was actually pretty scary. My face burns bright red with shame. Oh dear. It looks like we're in a dream again. Everything's made out of concrete. The walls, the floor, the ceiling. It's all dull and drab and grey. More sprouts in the corner of the room. It's dark black in the centre. I think pitch black would be more accurate. But pales around the edges to a soft, almost pastoral blue. The mould would be almost pretty, I guess, if the rest of this place, whatever this place is, wasn't so horribly cold and dank and dark and memey. I shift uncomfortably. Okay. Cold leaks through the back of my trousers. My thighs are turned to ice. Why am I sitting in a place like this? Where in the world am I? I try to get to my feet, but... A sharp wave of pain spikes through my right leg. It feels like something inside me is jammed. That happened. I look down, blinking, half afraid of what I might find, and a soft, pained moan escapes from my lips. 69. My right leg is bent at an awkward angle. It snaps just beneath the knee like a tree branch in a thunderstorm. It sticks out sickly, uncanny and unnatural to the right. Much, much too far to the right. It's my bone piercing through my skin? It feels like it. It hurts. I didn't realise just how much it hurts, but that's because I didn't realise it was broken so badly. Not until I saw it with my own eyes. But that doesn't make any sense. Why didn't it hurt before? Even if I couldn't see it, I should be able to feel it. Maybe it was the shock of being in such a strange environment, or maybe it wasn't broken before I examined it. I wonder, idly, if some invisible force, a ghost or a ghoul or a phantom or a spectre, took my leg between its spectral hands, and I didn't even see that word before I even mentioned the word spectre, and split it in the millisecond it took for me to glance down. I don't know. I don't know anything. This is definitely a nightmare. I bite my lower lip. My face is drained of colour. I probably look like a mushroom. How did that happen? I don't know, maybe because you sound like a dying cow. Okay, I'm sorry about that. How is any of this happening? I turn to the right, to the left. I'm in a square-shaped room. There are exits all around me, but with my broken leg, there's no way I could escape. You can be like a crawler. I can see a ruckus further back, beyond an open door. There should be a stairwell there, but there isn't. There's nothing. The place where the stairs should be is completely empty. It's just a vast, yawning crevice. Good, we're off 69 now. There are no stairs. Why are there no stairs? If I try to slime my way down there, even without my broken leg, I think I'd end up broken in all sorts of other places upon landing. Oh, I see you're awake. Oh? There's a voice. It's low, but distinctly female. The voice echoes around the full walls of this drab, grey, mould-ridden room over and over. You're awake. Awake. Wake. It sounds like an accusation. A shiver runs down my spine. The air in here is colder than liquid nitrogen. It took quite a while for you to come to, you poor baby. The woman's voice sounds concerned, but something about it sets my teeth on edge. I don't trust it. I reckon it's Lenny, rather than Lynn. I don't trust her. Where is she? I can't see her. I search for the source of this mysterious voice and... oh? Vaughn? What is she doing here? The speaker is standing in front of me. She's kneeling just inches away, so her breath glides across my cheeks. At least it would, if she wasn't wearing a mask. Where does she come from? I swear she wasn't here before. There's no body, just a voice. But voices can't exist on their own. That isn't possible. Am I going crazy? Oh. A sharp pain spikes through my leg. My brain was so overwhelmed by this bizarre situation I forgot for a few seconds. It was supposed to hurt. It hurts more than it did before. Human legs aren't supposed to bend like this. Not at a 90-degree angle. How long have I been here? Does it really matter, sweetie? You're here now, and you're not going to leave. No? Why can't we leave this premises? What are you gonna do to me? No, sorry. Oh, right. You might as well make yourself comfortable. You have no other choice. I can tell despite the mask that the woman's pretty. Her eyes are striking, her eyebrows are curved into two neat arches. Her eyebrows are pierced. Her nose is pierced too, and her ears. The lights in here are dim. Everything's dull and drab except for her. She's a rare, shiny object in a universe comprised of a blind, repeating greys. She looks familiar. In fact, I think I recognize her. Are you Vaughn? My name doesn't matter. Her voice is a little muffled through the surgical mask, but I'm sure it's Vaughn. It looks like her at least. But what is she doing here? I think my leg's broken. It would be, sweetie. But why? Why indeed, that is the question. Her eyes harden. You shouldn't need to ask me that. The reason should be obvious. What do you mean? We thought if you were subject to a sudden sharp shock, you might remember what it is you've done wrong. But I guess not. You really are hard-headed. Or maybe you're incapable of feeling real remorse. I'm sorry. I try to keep my voice calm, even though the sweat's starting to bed from my forehead. On my forehead. My leg doesn't just ache, it doesn't just hurt, it sears. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. I swear I didn't mean to. Those are pretty words, yes, but I can't trust them. Why not? How can I accept an apology when you don't understand why you're so apologizing in the first place? But that's just my opinion. What does everybody else think? The girl who looks like Vaughn, but may or may not even be Vaughn, turns her head as she gesturing towards an audience, sorry? That can't be. We're the only ones here, aren't we? That's what I thought, but we are not alone. We're not alone at all. The edges of the room are crowded with people. They surround me in a circle. There are so many people I can't even see the walls anymore. It's like they've eaten the landscape around me. Termites. There are so many people calling them a mere crowd doesn't begin to cover it. It doesn't give any sense of scale. Most of the people in the crowd are strangers. They're so strange to me. Alien, in fact. But I can't tell if they have eyes or ears or noses. There are a few faces, however, that I recognize. Jazz? Charge! Wowsies! Mum and Dad? Why are they all standing there watching? I try to call them out, but I can't. The words snag in my throat. It feels like my vocal cords have been cut clean in two by a spectral pair of scissors, perhaps. I can't make so much as a squeak. Eek. My legs hurt. It hurts so badly that I can hardly think. I can hardly even feel. Everything is obliterated by pain. Pain fills my skull like a thick cloud of smog. A cloud of flies. Oh dear. It seems like you really have let everybody down, dear. Her fingers... okay. Her nails are long and sharp enough to cause serious damage. She could gouge out my eyes with those nails so easily, and she wouldn't even break a sweat. I'm completely at her mercy. Nobody would defend me. Nobody wants to. They stand and watch in a circle, staring. They're all empty and soulless. Scarecrow people. Do they have any emotions in their hearts? Anybody, any care, any compassion? Maybe I don't deserve it. Now, do you know what people do with witches? Yes, they set them alight. I'm a witch? I thought Vaughn was the witch, a self-proclaimed Wiccan. But I don't know if this woman is Vaughn, just like I don't know whether the Jess or the Susie or the mom or the dad in the crowd are really Jess or Susie or mom or dad. Just like I don't know if I'm the real Lynn. Is this really my body? My smashed leg feels dull and heavy. I can't move it. I don't think it belongs to me anymore. I can't twitch the toes on my right foot. I can't twitch the toes on my left foot either. Witches get burnt at the stake, right? But why haven't I been through enough? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. It'll be over soon. I know just how weak you are, how fragile, how easily broken. Her voice dips to a slow, sensuous whisper. But it wouldn't be funny if you were passed out too quickly. What? You did something wrong, sweetie, even if you don't remember it. We do. Look at all the people you've disappointed, all the people you've let down. She glances at the shadowy crowd. They stare at me, unblinking, their eyelids permanently open. Maybe they can't blink. Do they even have eyelids? All of a sudden, this idea sounds rather sensible. Why should people need eyelids here? They exist solely to judge me. Of course they would stare. Excuse me, I'll just call for my lovely assistant. The woman looks like Vaughn claps her hands together. When she does, a girl steps forward from the crowd. Ah, Linny. she isn't a tall girl. Her presence is entirely average and unimposing. She's the polar opposite of a woman who reminds me of Vaughn. She's around my height. She has a similar face, too. The same cheeks, the same nose, the same mouth, even the same nostrils. But her leg isn't broken. She walks slowly without a limp, like she has all the time in the world. Her irises are brown, like mine. Irises, sorry. But they seem to stretch on forever and ever, into infinity. I could be sucked up by a steady gaze, like water down a drain. I know this girl. I know her only too well. She's there all the time. Whenever I was asleep or awake, I can't escape from her. I can never escape. Give our guest a helping hand, dear. You know what to do. Linny nods soundlessly and kneels down beside me. The woman who looks like Vaughn shuffles away, giving Linny more space to perform whatever cruel ceremony she's supposed to conduct. Linny reaches forwards. She takes hold of both my cheeks with her hands. Her palms are cold. I shiver. Is she even alive? Her skin is so pale I'm beginning to wonder if there's any blood inside her. Maybe she doesn't have blood, but ice. That would explain why she's so cold to the touch. Her heart is a glacial lake, completely frozen over. I want to ask her why. Why are you doing this to me? Do you really hate me this much? Why do you hate me? How dare you hate me? How could you stand to make me suffer when I want to make you suffer much, much more? But I can't say any of those things. My throat is swollen. No sound comes out. Lenny parts her lips slowly. She sighs. Her sweet breath ruffles my fringe. There's something small and white, shaped like a perfect pearl, resting on the tip of her tongue. It is like some kind of tablet. Medicine? But I don't have time to wonder. Linny's fingers dig into my cheeks a little tighter, hard enough to hurt. Her nails rank against my arm. Okay. Nah. And then she dips her head. Her lips pressed against mine. Oh, okay. I think I know where this is going. I'm so surprised my eyes snap open, wide, so do my lips. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Why'd you call everything alien anyways? It tastes strange. Everything here is strange. My head swims, my whole body hurts, it isn't just my leg. Oh, 5% stress now. It feels like I'm being torn apart. I'm being stabbed with shards of glass over and over again. I whimper into Linny's kiss. I don't want to swallow the tablet. I don't know what the strange medication is, but I know I can't swallow it. I won't. But Linny doesn't draw my mouth away from mine. Okay. Warm cabin filled with... Okay. Okay. Oh, gosh, I'm not used to this kind of content on my channel. I prefer to avoid it as much as possible, but here we are. Lenny shoves... Okay. Find myself swallowing despite myself. The small tablet slides down my throat. Tears bead into the corner of my eyes. The piercing sensation threatens to... Okay, my body too. It feels like I'm being ripped apart. I feel like I'm not even myself anymore. But was I ever myself to begin with? Maybe there's no girl called Lynn. This whole time I was just a copy. A fake. I can't breathe, I can't talk, I can't think. All I could do is hurt. The crowd around me starts buzzing excitedly. Lenny observes for a few moments before she draws away. It's like she can't bear to... Okay. I can smell something in the air. It's a smoky, acrid smell. It's a smell of burning flesh falling from the bone. My skin is smouldering. My flesh is melting. The fat inside my body is bubbling. I'm hurting. I'm crying. I'm dying. My eyes start to turn to liquid inside their sockets. My eyes drip down my cheeks. Not that I have cheeks anymore. Slowly, like syrup. Like the whites of an overcooked egg. My right leg doesn't hurt anymore. It's no longer attached to my body. I no longer have a body. But that's fine. Maybe this is what I wanted all along. And we're awake. Hey Lynn, it's been a while since I last saw you in your uniform. It has been indeed. I do want to because there's no other saves to go by. But that's fine. Hey Jazz. I gave my sister an awkward smile. I don't want to smile awkwardly, of course, who does? But after my dream last night, it's a little hard not to act. But it's a little hard to act completely natural. You alright? You look kind of pale. I'm fine. I'll live. You sure? Jazz smirks and tastes a bite out of her toast. It's smeared with strawberry jam. The bright red against the brown toast makes me think not of blood, but something far more sinister. Charred flesh. The thick smell of freshly toasted bread that lingers in the kitchen doesn't help. Here's a top tip from a girl who failed all her GCSEs. Don't pass out in the exam hall. I won't. Huh, that's what they all say. But there's always one kid who passes out every year, always. Is that true? I mean, it happened in my school last year. There was a kid who passed out in the maths exam. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was pretty funny, honestly. I think Jazz is trying to lighten the mood, but she's not exactly filling me with confidence. Funny thing is, he wasn't a stupid kid. Not like me, he was smart. He studied a lot. Maybe that's why. Jess ponders. Her lips are encrusted with a fine film of toast crumbs. Maybe smart kids put too much pressure on themselves. When they don't do as well as they want, they freak out. As for me, Jazz shrugs, she smiles. I knew I was going to fail everything, so I never really bothered. It didn't seem like there was any point in worrying. Even though Dad kept pushing you. Even so, I know what my limits are. Maybe you just didn't try hard enough. I didn't try at all. You shouldn't sound so cheerful about it. Yeah, very basic. I know. It annoyed Dad a lot. I can see why, but, well... Dad works at construction, Mom works at checkout. We don't come from a smart family. I'm not a smart girl. I have no illusions of greatness. That's why Dad wants us to succeed. Well, I'm plenty happy living my life without anything to amount. Thank you very much. But what about society? Society? What have they done for me recently? And Jess laughs. Blank it all, it doesn't matter. Jess sounds proud. Proud. She sounds proud about everything. I was about to say prideful, but then I was in between prideful and proud, so I just said proud, whatever it is. Whatever I said, but it didn't sound like proud. Even the things she probably shouldn't have been proud about. Dad tells Jazz she should be ashamed of herself. She isn't though. Jazz is stronger than that. Maybe a mental strength. Jazz always says that she doesn't have a single ounce of shame in her body. Maybe that's a good thing. It means she doesn't have to worry. Not like me. I'll worry about everything. You can't drop the ball on this one, Lynn. Go and make your dad proud. Don't pass out. For your information, that kind of blanks up your chances. Blows up your chances. I'll keep that in mind. I peer into the bread bin even though I don't want any toast. I'm worried. If I have any breakfast, I'll throw up on the train. Vomiting over a young child would be far, far worse than knocking into them with my school bag. It doesn't matter anyway. 92%, the only crust left. And we're at school. Alright, you may pick up your pens and open your papers. Your exam has now begun. A flurry of noise surrounds me. Hundreds. I think there are around 200 kids in my year. of maths exam papers are opened up and smothered out by manicured fingers and bitter nails alike. I'm a little slower to start than the rest of my peers. I jolt. It feels like a screwdriver has been inserted into the base of my neck. What am I doing? I'm doing nothing. Oh dear, you gotta buckle up yourself, Lynn. This is the time to be good. This is the time to concentrate, not being doubtful or sitting here, staring dumbly at the clock mounted on the wall. Our school is a little outdated. We do our exams in this old gym hall that hasn't been refurbished since 1980. It smells of dust and old sweat. The windows are small and high up. They only let in the barest minimum of light. I feel like I'm in a prison. A person filled with rows upon rows of desks and chairs with only 200 teenage boys and girls poring over their maths exam papers. I was entered for the higher tier paper. I should have been doing foundation. My teacher had too many expectations. I think it was spurred on by my dad's fervent insistences during parents' evening that I'm the smart one in the family. Sometimes, in a few of the practice papers I did get in class, I managed to get B's. Sometimes, meaning once. The rest of the time, I got C's or D's. Susie's in the second set of maths, and though she hardly ever studies, she never received anything less than a B. Life isn't fair. Speaking of Susie, her last name is Hastings. That's a town in UK actually. She's sitting a couple of seats in front of me. I can see her brown pigtails bounce as she peers through the booklet. Her pen, overly cute and pale pink, glitters beneath the dim lights. She's writing. Only 5 minutes have elapsed, but it looks like she's finished the first couple of pages already. Stop looking at other people now. Ahem. One of the invigilators clears her throat. I shift, suddenly guilty. The invisible screwdriver applies even greater pressure to the base of my neck. Does it look like I'm cheating? I hope it doesn't look like I'm cheating. I open out my exam booklet and stare. Random groups of numbers stare back at me, broken up with dotted lines for me to write down my answers. I have to pick up my pen. I have to gather my senses. I have to start writing, but I can't. My brain freezes. The questions near the beginning of the exam paper aren't even that difficult. I've never had any issues with these before. Find the parameter of this shape. What is the circumference of this circle? Plot the line of best fit. It's not hard. I've answered questions like these before, but I can't now. For some reason, nothing makes sense anymore. My breath catches in my chest. The whole world around me spins. I feel like I might fall off on my chair, but the act of falling requires too much energy. All I can do is slump. I press one hand against my chest. My fingers are shaking. I'm too anxious to even raise my hand. I don't think I could walk to the toilet even if I did get permission, which is unlikely. The head invigilator is pretty scary. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to deal with any of this. God, but how disappointed will Dad be? They'll all be so disappointed that it turned out to be an idiot. The biggest idiot. 10 years of education and for what? I'm wasting it. I can't blame I'm wasting everything. Susie's pale pink pen it catches in the light. When I squint, I can see the individual particles of dust swirling in the air. 10 minutes have gone by. I still haven't written anything. Everybody else is watching. I'm not. I can't. Why? I reach for my pen. My palms are slick with sweat. I bet Lindy's having no problem with this paper. She's in the highest set for maths. And though I've never seen any of her work, I'm sure she's a straight A student. She's just that sort of girl. I wonder where she is. In the corner somewheres. I glance about the gym surreptitiously. Not because I want to cheat. I'm not brave enough for that, but because I'm curious. We seat in alphabetical order. My last name is Harper. Linz is Atkin. She'll be further ahead of me, maybe to the right. Ah, there. I can see her. She's pretty far away, but I can see her clearly. Her hair falls around her shoulders in shimmering waves. She pauses, her pen still poised in her right hand, and glances upwards. Maybe she's staring out of a window. Is she so confident in her own abilities she doesn't even need to focus on the exam paper? Things are getting pretty tense now. I shift and rub my thighs together. I'm sweating. Why is it so hot today? It must be because there are so many sweaty, stinking human bodies crammed together in this room. It didn't feel that hot when I was waiting for the train. Lukewarm, more than anything. The nightmare surfaces to my mind once more, in alarmingly vivid detail. It gets clearer and clearer the more I will for it to go away. Like the legs of a spider slowly emerging from a sinkhole. Lily's hands against my cheeks, her lips against mine, the sudden intense burning, my eyes melting out of my... Okay. I draw in a sharp breath and grip my teeth together. I can't focus on my exam paper, it's all nonsense to me. Just numbers that have no meaning and blank spaces to show my working when I can't work anything out at all. I don't understand a thing. All I can do is stare at the back of Lynn's head. Half an hour has eclipsed. Lily is looking back down at her exam paper. Her slender fingers turn over a new page. Her emotions are so casual they almost feel insulting. Is she trying to make me feel bad? No, probably not. I doubt she even knows I exist. My stomach turns. I hate her. I really, really hate that girl. If only she would disappear, then none of this would be happening. Everything would be so much better. Okay. 100%. I don't remember closing my exam booklet. I don't remember putting my pen down. I hardly even remember picking my pen up. I don't remember holding my exam booklet in the air for the invigilators to collect. I don't remember being dismissed from the exam hall, and I don't remember collecting my bag from the back of the room. I don't remember exiting the school and making my way back to the train station. But I must have done, because I'm here now. I feel like a large part of my life has been wiped clean away. Did I talk to Susie? I'm sure I did. Or maybe she tried to talk to me. I don't remember. She probably wanted to compare answers. Not that she needs to. Susie's far, far smarter than I am. I have no advice to give to her. No advice other than, don't blank up like I did. Not writing a single thing in your exam booklet will do that to you. Blah blah, I mean. Oh well. It's too late to worry about that. The exam's over now. The whole time I stared at the back of Lynn's head. I didn't answer any questions, not one. Yeah, he might do. He's definitely going to do that. He won't kill me right away, because he won't find out. But when the results come in and he discovers I got a U on my math exams, he'll flip his lid. He'll be so angry, and it's all my fault. I wonder if he'll be angrier than he was when he learned about Jasper's baby. Maybe. Failing one exam is potentially just as life-changing as having a baby. There's no way I'll be able to make it up with a grade in my second maths paper. Even if I got full marks, I'll be lucky to scrape a passing grade. So it's over. I failed maths, and now I failed life too. I failed everyone. I'm a failure. But it isn't my fault. It isn't. I glance at the electronic soundboard, but I don't see it. All of a sudden, the station looks rather different. It isn't the same station I usually stand at, waiting for the train to take me back home. There are no pedestrians, no vending machines, no board displaying the next trains. The tracks are old and rusted. They're overgrown with moss and steam nettles. Everything is dark grey and dreary. This place looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time. It's derelict, all but deserted. I'm the only person here. Am I still in London? Am I dreaming? Maybe I'm still in the exam hall. Maybe I passed out during my exam. Is this another dream? But if it is a dream, then why does it feel so real? The air smells stale. The sky is dark grey. The clouds are light grey. The ground and the grass that grows upwards through the ground are pitch as black, or black as pitch. Okay, the whole world begins to distort. I hold a hand against my eyes, they're burning. I'm burning. It's just like the one in my dreams. Nightmares, I mean. I only ever seem to have nightmares. It's this strange, bizarre, surreal world anything could happen. Fish could swim in the air, birds could fly in the water, but days could reverse and tomorrow would be yesterday. There's no concept of time, but my heart continues to pound inside my chest and my lungs continue to take in oxygen. A fine sheen of rain begins to fall from the sky. I wish it does do that in the UK, because at the moment it hasn't rained for like 2 months. It's almost like the world is crying. But that's far too poetic a notion for a young stupid girl like me. Girls like me who can't answer a single question on their maths GCSE paper don't deserve to think such fanciful things. This train station, however, is certainly fanciful enough. This is my own world. Am I the only person here? Or maybe Leonie is there. Yep, I thought so. Excuse me? You're in my class, right? No, I'm not alone. Of course I'm not. Even in my own delusions, I can't be on my own. I can never be on my own. You're going back to Strawberry Hill, aren't you? Her inquiry is polite, but it makes me grit my teeth together. It feels like she's looking down at me. Do you know if any trains are running? This is all so strange. There's nobody else here, so I was wondering if you knew what was going on. Why is she asking me this? Do I look like I would know? I don't know anything. Maybe behind her innocent facade she's mocking me just like everybody else. She's mocking me because I'm not her. I'm just me. Plain, boring Lynn. Not Linny. She isn't me. I wish I was her. Or maybe she was me. That we were the same. But we're not. We can't be. Excuse me? Lynn? I don't think she's ever addressed me before. Maybe that's why she sounds so hesitant. Or maybe it's because of the expression on my face. I don't know what my own face looks like, but it's probably quite scary. Lynn, are you by any chance being sick? I am sick. I'm sick of her. Lynn? She extends her arms out slowly. Is she going to... Okay. My body shivers. What? But at the same time I don't. I can't let her. But I take a step backwards. Disgusting. Excuse me? Didn't you hear? You're disgusting. I push her away hard. I push so hard, in fact, she stumbles. Her eyes widen in surprise. Oh! She falls backwards. Her behind hits the ground with a soft thud. She blinks up at me, anxious and unsure, and afraid. Yes, she should be afraid. I'm the one with the power here. I don't usually have power in my dreams, but I do now. It would be foolish if I did not use it, right? I kneel down, striding Lindy's chest. My thighs pin her limp body at both sides. I need to block off her escape routes. Even if she tried to throw me off, I don't think she could. Her arms are white as chalk, skinny like twigs, and she doesn't have enough power to push me away. I won't let her push me away. Lenny, you... Oh, sorry, Lynn, you why? Why should I need to answer her? I don't need to answer. Shut up. I slap her across the face. Her head jerks to one side with a sickening smack. For a few moments, I worry I might have shattered her skull. Is she really that fragile? Of course she is. I'm fragile too. Maybe all people are to a certain extent, even people like Dad. But I'm not the same as Linny. We can't be. Lynn, why are you doing this? Linny blinks at me. Her eyes are filled with tears. A deep, dark, purplish bruise blossoms across her cheek like a rare flower. It's almost pretty. Not pretty enough. I want to hurt her more. Much, much more. I'm tired. I'm tired of being the one who gets hurt all the time. I slap her again, and again, and again. Each time her head jerks obligingly. She's so easy to play with, and fun too, like a doll. She's an incredibly lifelike, life-sized doll with teeth that rattle around her skull when I hit her. I know we're not close, but I didn't think you disliked me this much. Did I do something wrong? If you even have to ask, that shows you don't understand. What? You don't understand. You never even tried to understand. But we've never even spoken. Her voice is muffled through her sobs. The sound makes my head hurt, sorry. The invisible screwdriver is back. It bores into the back of my neck with frightening precision. I need her to stop talking. How do I make her stop talking? That's enough. I don't want to hear your voice anymore. You need to atone. Atone for what? For what, indeed? What did she do? She didn't do anything, but she needs to be punished. She's making me doubt myself. I can't do that. If I start to doubt myself, who else can I blame for my faults and flaws? I don't have anybody else I could take this out on, and nobody who will listen. Nobody who will understand. It doesn't make sense even to me. Of course it doesn't make sense to her. That's why she can't talk. She absolutely, definitely can't. If she talks too much, I'll start to realise how stupid this all is. I'll realise just how hollow and empty I am. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I've always hated you. But why? There's no reason. No logical reason anyway. It's because you look just like me. What? You look like me, but you're better than me. You're better in each and every way. Her name is even longer than mine. Lynn with an E. You'd earn more points if you played... Okay, we're going to keep going back to this, are we? About the Scrabble board. Not that names are allowed. It's against the rules to play names in Scrabble, strictly speaking. But that's never stopped Jess before. Jess has no shame. I have too much. Apparently... Okay, I pull stupid faces. I'm an idiot schoolgirl who doesn't know what she's doing, but it doesn't really matter because no man will ever find me attractive anyway. No woman either. What about Linny? I bet she doesn't pull stupid faces. She's probably better at making her... Okay. She'll beat me at anything simply by being alive. There's only one solution, Ben. Disappear. Just go. Just disappear. Go away. Go away. Go away. Ouch. She whimpers. It's not enough. I slam my head against the cold, hard floor over and over again. I slam it hard with more strength than I know I possess. Skull cracks, maybe it's fractures, maybe it breaks. Maybe holes are open up inside her head and her brains are starting to leak out. I wonder what brains look like. I've never seen them before. Are they grey? In biology books I saw when we were as a kid, brains are always bright pink. I'm not stupid enough to believe that's really true. Just what is true anyway. Is this real? None of it feels very real. None of it. Except this. The sick smacks of Linny's head against the concrete floor. The water feels around me. It's almost like the sky is crying. Linny is crying too. Her nose is running. Her pretty face is covered in red and blue and purple bruises. She's bleeding. She's leaking. But she's still alive. Her body twitches. Her breath forces its way out of her lungs slowly. In and out, in and out. She's so persistent. Just disappear. Go away. Leave me in peace. Does she know what happens to witches? That's right, she's a witch. She's a witch who's stolen what should be mine. I have nothing. She has everything. That's fundamentally unfair. She deserves to be punished. Lynn, why? She looks at me. Her eyes are glassy. They swim with tears. She's so red she could probably stick a goldfish or two in one of her eye sockets. I bet it would be able to bob around quite happily. That is, if goldfish are saltwater fish anyway. I'm not sure. I'm not smart. But I'm smart enough to know the answer to her question. I have to hurt her. She has to suffer. That's just the way of the world. All because I'm not you. And I wrap my fingers around her throat. Oh. Okay. I think that is quite conclusive. And even if she was still alive in some way, she will probably be found out for murder. Very slow, excruciating, agonizing murder. And at that point, she probably didn't have to hear her dad's wrath. But anywho's. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll look through the rest of his credits because I'm not an unsinful person. I am a very nice, generous person who goes through the credits of every game so that people know the people who are making this game along with any resources used. But that is that. So that is Lyney, folks. Overall, it's a very crude horror visual novel. It takes a little bit of imagination to get you to where you are, but I think the plot of the game in itself is quite simple. You are somebody who wishes to have a better life than what they have at the moment. Their family is currently going through a lot of severe troubling issues at the moment, namely the sister of Lynn, who obviously got into something very wacky and obviously got herself pregnant along the way. Unintentionally, but these things happen, you know. You go out to a party and you're that kind of person who just says, you know, you only live once, so why not go with the flow? And that sort of thing happened. On the other end of the scale, Lynn is supposedly the smarter kid of the family, but she wishes she had more of a life like Jess, where caring about things is too much. You're a free-spirited girl who just does what she wanted to do, and she doesn't care about what other people think. And I think that's just like the basic premises of the game, is that you are this person who deals with this amount of stress over time, and at one point, especially within a stressful situation like an exam, you break. You break just like Lynn did there. And I think that all she wanted to be in life was to be this other person that she wasn't. Lyney, for example. Lyney is the person that Lynn wants to be, and I think at the end of the day that the cause of the murder was due to jealousy and external factors outside her own doing, like family, for example. But you can have your own theories about this game down in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you very much to the developer of making this game. I did enjoy it for the most part, but some of the dialogue in there I couldn't read out just simply because I find it really, really, really uncomfortable to read out in that sort of term. Especially when walls are also quite thin as well, so everybody can hear. But it doesn't matter because, well, ultimately it's up to the developer what they want to include in the game, so I can't take points off of that. It appeals to a particular audience, but I would say half and half me and half not me. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care of yourselves.